give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The #1 midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, 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 what's going on? Happy Friday out there. Big D Energy. Attaboy, Spenny. Darren McCarty, D-Mac here. Anson Wells sitting in for Neil Rule. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
BD popping my cherry, baby. Let's go.
I think this is the inaugural voyage.
All right.
We've been on the air together before, but I don't know if we've ever done a show together.
This is my BD cherry pop right
now.
Oh, he got it off twice.
Go. Let's treat him like one of the family. We got questions for you and a big show ahead. Always joined by my man KG. In the sound booth. How you doing, Kenny?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Just left the desk for Woo, man. It's been a good week, and here with my boy Anson on a Friday, man. Not used to this.
Not used to this at all. I'm seeing that 11 o'clock KG energy. I like it.
Yeah, it's about the same as the 2 o'clock energy.
Yes, sir.
Just want to go home a little bit more at 2 o'clock.
Okay, I feel that.
P3, and as always, our fearless leader on the ones and twos, Spenmo Rax. How you doing, Spenny?
I'm doing good. My check engine light came on the drive in today, so that's annoying. But hopefully it's off on the drive home, and then I just don't gotta worry about it.
All right. Well, you know what? What do I always say? Life's gonna keep life.
All the time.
I like that attitude,
24/7.
Right? Because let's take a time right here on this Friday as we get into everybody here. Prayers out. I got family out in California. I got friends. I know everybody else does. I mean, what's going on there with the fires? Maybe for this next couple hours and here with what's going on with Woodward Sports, Detroit Sports and stuff, we can talk, we can be together, but just say a prayer to everybody out there, anybody who's dealing with family and stuff. I want to say be safe. We got a winter storm watch coming. Anybody who's on the roads, we are for Michigan and stuff, but just be safe. Make sure you can come back. But one of the things, Spenny, I think that take the time right now. What I love is progress, not perfection. You made me chuckle because the old Spencer Raxter that I'd known, if the check engine light would have gone on, I would have seen it still, and you would have been buried in. But maybe it's just let go to the things you can't control.
That's right.
Maybe it'll be off, and it's something that you know what? Like, this is from my experience. Whether it's off, whether it's on, or whatever, you got to put it on your flight plan to see, okay, so let's move into solution mode. So I like the way that you've handled that. I think we've learned that through a lot of our sports teams, right, on how to handle it, which by the way, before we get into anything, I got to bring Kenny. I got to call Anson
put him on blast. Put him on blast.
Just a little bit.
You're coming out with
here.
3 letters. 3 little letters, right?
What's that?
You coming up with 3 letters right now?
Oh, the SOL?
Yeah.
No, because Anson, I believe I have not heard you speak SOL on the air.
He has SOL sentiments, though.
I believe, just so people know, is that I've sat on the couches here at the watch parties and had conversations with you 2 years ago where you looked me flat in the eye. And what I love about you is you're consistent. You stick to your guns, to whatever. And you said to me, did you not, I will not get rid of the SOL moniker till I win a Super Bowl.
Well, I actually specifically get to a Super Bowl because that's something that I have never seen.
I might have misheard it. I could have been hopped up on NAs and a lot of jars cannabis out there. But the fact is, till they get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But as far as, because you're the biggest SOLer at this station, we listen. You can listen to Anson and Stick at the post game shows from Hayes Social. Go back anywhere you listen to Rewind and watch these guys go at each other, as only good friends can.
Truth.
And guys
Real
with
talk.
History of 30 years. But will you give everybody? I'm going to give you the floor here. Give everybody where you're at with that, so everybody who has questioned you in the past can tell you.
Well, I mean, listen, if they fall short of the Super Bowl, I think there will be a lot more people agreeing with me than there are right now. And none of us want to be in agreement on that fact. Everyone wants to see this team in the Super Bowl. Now, if they get there and they lose to a Chiefs team that the NFL would love to see win the first trifecta in the Super Bowl era, I'm not that heartbroken because we've seen something that this team has never done. Getting to the Super Bowl it's tough, man. And you see there's still a long list of teams that have never, ever been there. We have the longest run without being there. So that has to change. That roadblock that we were ready to jump over and completely smash through up until halftime in San Francisco last year seemed like an inevitability. It seems like an inevitability now. But last year it was hope, now it's expectation. So listen, a lot of people are going to be on board with me if they fall short of the Super Bowl. There might even be some people that will be on board with me if they lose the Super Bowl. For me, I need to see them in the big game, period.
But you know what? I sort of set you up a little bit because we're going to, as we get into this show, obviously it's Friday. So even though Neil's not here, Spenny is, and he's got his nickel packages. We got a plethora of nickel packages we're going to get to. But we're also going to dibble-dabble in the culture. Because my goal by the end of today, everybody out there, is that you will agree that SOL isn't here because the same old Lions of the way that they go to work and the culture and the men in this locker room is what is different. The result, like you said, is the conspiracy theorists? Is it scripted? Is it inevitable that they want the Chiefs to? It doesn't matter. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about getting rid and having you confidently saying that it isn't the same old Lions to the way it is.
What I will say to that is, listen, we could have had any team in the last 10 years or in the next 10 years with some different regime that didn't bring the culture that they brought here, get lucky with an 11-6 record and make it to a Super Bowl. Win it even. And that doesn't do as much for me as what you're talking about here. The culture that these guys have been able to bring in, I spoke about it yesterday. These guys have the truest foxhole mentality that I can really recall in almost any football team. Watching 22 guys get down injured this year, and this team not skip a beat, still go 15-2. And this team on paper next year coming into the season is better than the team that we will see on the field playing in a week from now. So I do have to acquiesce to that. I have to tip my hat to the fact that the culture in Allen Park, and everybody knows it, the fans here in Detroit and across the nation, because we see them in all of these arenas and stadiums every time the Lions show up, the culture I could have never predicted would have done the complete 180 that Brad and Dan have taken it to. So in that sense, I believe that this team is a 10-win team for the rest of this decade. And if that doesn't spell BNL, I don't know what does.
And we got a super chat in there from Dante51 or 151. He says, all of my answers to where a QB free agent is going is either Canada or the USFL. And he said also, screw the Wildfires. And yes, we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
And a big game tonight for the Red Wings. Indeed, big game against the Blackhawks tonight.
Huge. We'll talk about that. But I think that you nailed the big thing as we watch in front of our eyes where it's separated. And to the absolute mentality of Super Bowl or bust, right from day one, that's the SOL of can this Lions just win. It's not culture. That has been answered.
Yes.
It's BNL as far as that way. If you want to go ask them, is it the way that the league treats them? Is it the bad breaks that they get? Stuff like that, which you can't. But the way that, like you said, it is BNL and that SOL said here by Anson Wells himself. Can I get a quote
how many
on
times
that?
have you heard me say BNL in the last year?
You've said it a fair amount. I'll give you that.
That's right.
But once again, it's the sentiments, though.
No, it's the bar, baby. The bar is high. And I have been saying for 2+ years, this team is holding themselves to a much higher bar.
Yeah.
And the Detroit fans need to do the same. Like,
I
had a
agree.
great
I
run
agree with
last
that
year.
part of it. Yes.
You know, we had a great run last year, but everybody was kind of sick this offseason because of the way that it ended. We can't afford that kind of an end this year. Not at 15-2. Not every single week has felt like a week of destiny.
Yeah.
If you've been around these teams in Detroit and seen the championships that my man to my left here won with the Red Wings, that the Pistons won in 89-90, that they won in 04, there was a feeling of destiny every step of the way. There was all reasons for you to dismiss this team and for them to fail this year. 22 injured reasons.
Right.
But they're 15-2.
No, Anson, I agree with everything you said. I just don't think a Super Bowl is required to acknowledge the fact that SOL's been there for a long time. And I think the consistency that they continue to put forth, the message that they carry into every single game, every single week, that alone proves that SOL's been dead for a long time. Now, they do need to accomplish the goal. I'm not arguing with you there, but to say BNL, you got to just look at the last 2 to 3 years, and you can see that BNL's been in effect for a long time.
And where I can agree with you is the proof is in the 2024 pudding.
Yeah.
All right, this team took a massive emotional blow losing a game that they had in hand in San Francisco, ending their season short of the Super Bowl. They come back this year, all expectations, national attention, first time that it's ever been this heavy, and then you lose 22 guys. SOL is a 9-8 season this year.
Right.
And they didn't do that. So in terms of culture, in terms of that foxhole mentality, next man up, in terms of just executing, and it doesn't matter who you have out there because you know you're going to execute, the belief is truly there, and that follows the culture they've established. So yes, I believe this is a 10-win team for the rest of this decade, and that means they are the brand new Lions.
And another super chat in there in the Woodward Sports Chat from Byrne. He says, just getting there is not good enough. If we get there, we need to win it. I don't want to be the Vikings fans hanging our head on how we lost the Super Bowl. I see how we treat the 2006 through 2013 Tigers.
And that's fair enough. And I think that Lions rumble, and I see a lot of Sheila Love in here. And there's a piece put out the other day. I mean, I said, where's she getting her flowers? But there is SOL. Sheila saved our Lions, right? Saved our Lions.
Saved
That's
our
SOL
Lions.
goes to Sheila. Saved our Lions.
So
If that is not facts, I don't know what is. Real quick, staying on football, go to break. You guys watch Penn State, Notre Dame last night?
Man.
Now, I said to Spenny, coming in, right, because what does Neil always say, and I'd be remiss not to take up the tone on this Friday of Penn Stating, but did they not, Spenny? I said, did Notre Dame win that game or did Penn State lose that game? And when you throw an interception with under a minute left in your own territory, I would say that's winning.
Yeah,
or that's losing.
Yeah, I would say that's losing for sure. It was just a terrible throw by Drew Eller right over the middle. A throw that he didn't have to make. You know, they could have played it safer. Not played it safe because they still want to go score and win, but they could have played it safer than that throw. It was a bad throw. Great interception by the kid Gray, I think was his last name. And, then Riley Leonard ran the ball a couple times to kick the field goal and won the game. It was Penn State doing Penn State things.
Did you enjoy the game? If you watched it,
It was a fun game.
Have you so up
sloppy.
until now? Which is I wanted to say, if you watched it and enjoyed the game, obviously close, back and forth scored and stuff like that. But would you give this playoff season a thumbs up from what you've watched in the games, or a mediocre? Is your verdict still out depending on what these last couple games are, or like where's everybody at with this?
Well, I'm in the age group where I'm supposed to hate it. I love it because I've always
That's on brand, though.
I've always watched where there's these teams that are undefeated and they just don't even get a chance. And I know that there were some blowouts and there were some bad games. This is still the first year. They're going to tweak things. They're going to get it better. It's just like NIL. It's a work in progress. For me to be able to see the teams that deserve a chance get a chance, even if they get blown out, that's what I want to see. And I know maybe the best team for the whole season doesn't win it, and it's the best team at the end of the year. But that's how it is in all sports.
Or usually like the way that it should be. Anyways, do you think Notre Dame has what it takes to win the national championship?
No.
Kenny?
I want to say yes, but it depends on who they face.
What? some
Texas or Ohio State
got a gun to you?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, no. Well,
I mean, what do you mean I watch? Like,
all right. Well, no.
No,
'Cause
okay.
if
No,
it's
I
Ohio
don't.
State or Texas, they probably don't beat either one.
like from what I see, like there's some resilience and stuff like that, but I mean, it just
They got a better shot against Texas, but if it's Ohio State, probably not.
To me, Penn State looked like they were on their way to 300 yards on the ground at halftime. And they get away from that. Like you said, Spenny, I mean, all you got to do is run the ball in that situation, and you're out of there with the W. We know where Penn State stacks with Ohio State. And if Notre Dame, I know that they all had the flu, if they could barely get past them and need a stroke of luck to do that, I don't really see them hanging with OSU. I think OSU is probably going to get by Texas pretty easily. And I want to bring up a question that I brought up a while back. I think it was maybe last week, and everybody said I was crazy. But I think that Michigan fan is going to have a really, really hard time if Ohio State lost to them and then still goes on as an 8 seed to win a national championship, because that was a big feather in Michigan's hat. Obviously, they'd won a couple in a row against this team, but after losing basically for about 20 years straight to Michigan had this big natty that they could hang over OSU's head. And then OSU gets one the next year as an 8 seed. Personally, I've already talked to Braylon. I know he'd be sick about it. Any Michigan fan that says they're not, cap.
No, I'm not capping at all. Why would I care? We had our natty. So it is what it is, bro. I don't know why you still trying to push this narrative. Not all Michigan fans are going to be upset if Ohio State wins. We got our natty last year. So
plus I can spin that narrative to, okay, you won the national championship the year I beat you.
Yeah, cool.
You know,
right, cool.
Yeah, all right. So like to me that breaks the tie.
Yeah.
You know, like so.
If Michigan State,
maybe, hey, you know, Anson, that's a great one to bring to Mr. Rule's attention, and I'm sure he can get the most out of the Michigan fans to see how they feel.
I asked Ryan Ermanni and Braylon last Monday when they were in here, and they both said that's the last thing they want to happen. Braylon was still bringing up losses to Michigan State and other where they like went on to win something else later on. I mean, those true Michigan fans, that is the last thing that they want to see. Yeah, you might not be a choo-choo fan, KG.
No, of course we don't want to see it, but if it happens, so what? You think Braylon and Ryan going to come in here after they win it and just, oh, man, Ohio State won the natty.
Oh, no,
what
but
are
the
we
chat
going
will
to do?
be, and Twitter will be.
They don't care. Deep down, they don't care.
What do you think, Spenny? You want to get in these nickel packages after the break?
Yeah, we can do that. But first, let me tell you about Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Local coffee roasted, delivered right to your door. Specialty coffee. Sign up at SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Support local and just enjoy the best coffee you can with Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Shop.woodwardsports.com. New Detroit shirts designs up now. You see they got the 2024 NFC Champions shirt up there. Undefeated in the NFC North, belt to ass. They got the Grit Detroit football shirt. Make sure you guys go get your new designs in the merch shop right now. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
The sick new stuff. Big D Energy here on a Friday. Darren McCarty and some Wells in for Neil Rule, who will be back on Monday. KG spend more racks here. I see it. Just a fan. KG's 100% right. Anson's just trying to. Where is it? Anson just wants to manifest his UM hate by heckling UM fans. Sorry, Anson.
He is a heckler.
No, here's my perspective.
He is a heckler.
By the HR department over here, the Canadian
Minister of Accountability.
Minister of Accountability. There's levels to all you Michigan's fans. Some care, like there's that, and you're all not wrong. I think the more the majority's in where Kenny is. But there is a strong contingent, and that have maybe more of a vested interest. Like, look at the always look at the vested interest, right? I always say follow the money, but look at the vested.
You mean like their Michigan vest they bought from Walmart?
Well, that could be one of them. But
You just wanna get your
usually
shit
where
off.
you don't. Absolutely, there's some of those. They got some good stuff over there, bro.
They do, man. They do. I'm more of a Meyer guy, but you know.
Yeah, my God. You're
Michigan.
A Myers
Michigan
Spartan.
guy.
You a Myers Spartan is what you're
All right,
into?
Spenny, you want to talk Pistons, or you want to talk? You want to fire off some nickel package? I think you know what, because here's the thing.
I hate that cord. I know.
Is that my cord?
No,
No,
it's
mine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's rotating cords.
Yeah.
All right,
Gotta
cord
love it.
party.
Gotta love audio malfunction. Gotta love it.
Anyways, thanks for bearing with us.
Am I
here.
good?
Yeah, you're
fire
good.
off, hey, you know what? Fire off these super chats.
Yeah,
first.
we'll fire off these super chats. We'll get on time for the next break and do the nickel package. First things first, Thomas Perry in the Woodward Sports chat says, D-Mac, can I get your thoughts on the Tkachuk hit on Zucker? I thought it was a cheap shot, but seeing he should have kept his head up comments too. Thanks. Let's go Red Wings and go Irish.
I have not seen the hit with my own eyes. I will try to look it up.
No, Tkachuk is probably dirty.
Spenny, my first thought is err on the side of reckless.
Yeah.
Right? Was it Brady or was it Matthew?
I'm not sure.
I think it was probably Brady.
Probably Brady, yeah.
Right? I'll try to find that and look that up for you. It's the new NHL, so if you're talking about like keep your head up, they don't have to. What are you talking about? That's old NHL. That's my NHL. So the fact is that anything near the head these days, the way that they just consistently call with something else. So what I would say, Thomas Perry off the top is what does it remind you of? And did somebody get something for it? And I would think because it's a Tkachuk and their reputation, they're more reckless than anything. So
I miss the physical age of all sports. Basketball, it's hard to recognize. I mean, when was the last time you saw a really good fight in hockey? Have there been some good fights this year?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, look at the hits in football. You can barely touch a quarterback. I mean, even baseball, they've tightened it up, man. Watch your slide and all that kind of stuff. It's all the games have become a little bit soft, and so I think if you're an old school fan and you see some hits that charge you up and you get excited, and then you see a penalty afterwards, it's kind of hard to tolerate.
Here's the hit. I just found it on Twitter.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Right into the boards, gets him from behind.
Yeah, you
that's
Ain't nobody behind
that's
like
just
that.
him. He's a dirt ball, man.
Yeah,
That's
you
what he
can't-
fucking does.
Can't hit nobody behind like that.
So that was more. Yeah, that's dirty. That's
that's
from
tough.
behind.
Yeah.
Right. That's from behind.
You can't
when
defend
you gotta
yourself.
let up because you see the numbers. What was did he get suspended for it?
I think it just happened, so I'm
Who
not
fought
sure.
him? Should be a fight right there.
Says, Burner.
Instant.
That's
All
your
these
hockey,
tweets.
bro.
Clean play. Got to keep his head up.
What?
What are you
No, I think it's
talking
the
back is
fact that he
turned.
hit him in the numbers.
Dirty player. Yeah.
That's a
it's-
penalty in your era, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
His head was up, his back was turned.
Was to him.
Yeah, come on, man. I can't defend myself if my back turned.
I mean, and that's even if it is like there's what the defenseless who was Zucker, whoever it was.
Yeah, Zucker.
What he has to do, though, is he's put himself in that, like, that's suicide zone.
Yeah.
Right? No, because what you are taught to do, and I tell for all the kids out there, is take a hit. If you're ever in doubt, you have to get close to the boards, get near the boards. They'll absorb it. You don't want to be off the boards. The fact that it looked worse. Like, if he was on the boards right there and he hit him more, it wouldn't look as bad, the fact that he still hit him in the numbers, but the fact that why it looks so dangerous is because he was in no man's land. You never want to be this far off the board. That's the no zone.
Yeah.
So when we teach kids to hit or whatever, you always teach get up against the boards, and the guy's gonna absorb it even more.
And then the other super chat in there from Eric Shaw. He says, I think it's crazy that Jared Goff ain't even in the MVP convo. His numbers are historic. #disrespectful.
Detroit versus everybody.
Well, the last 7 MVPs were all number 1 seeds headed into the playoffs.
Really?
The last 7.
Wow.
Going back to Tom Brady in 2017.
Do you guys? This brings up a great point because somebody brought. I saw this on Twitter and I commented on it. That's how high I was. It's a comment on it. The fact is, they said, like, all of our coordinators and all other coaches or whatever for coaches of the year and executive of the year and all this stuff like this. And I got to thinking, well, didn't you feel disrespected with the all pros and stuff like the disrespect going towards the like
2 years in a row.
You'll never. That's what I'm saying. So you know what? It is sort of like it feels a little bit Detroit versus everybody, and also too, bring it on.
Now, as much as I wholeheartedly embrace the Detroit versus everybody attitude, for me, if I look at Baltimore and you take Lamar Jackson away, they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you take Josh Allen away from the Buffalo Bills, probably not making the playoffs. I believe, we just talked about it, next man up, foxhole mentality, BNL culture. I think there's quite a few quarterbacks you could put into this system, and this team is still a 10-win team. This is still a playoff team.
So the Chris Osgood effect goes to Jared Goff. The Chris Osgood effect of disrespect.
Well, and I'm not saying that it's
the
rightful.
team around him, the greatness of the team doesn't. Then that means that he doesn't. He's no good.
No, it's not about
to his detriment.
So what I really believe is that
isn't it the Chris Osgood effect?
I don't
Jared
think
Goff
you're wrong in that.
Quote me on that. He suffered the Chris Osgood effect of disrespect.
I agree.
Because of the team and the system and everybody. So everybody's saying, fuck, you can put anybody in there.
Well, the ultimate disrespect is to his cerebral.
That's the fucking ultimate disrespect.
His cerebral post or pre-snap ability is as high as anybody in the league.
Peyton Manning level.
Yes, and the thing is it's not sexy. Seeing a guy run around and get the tush push and having 12 touchdowns on the ground like Josh Allen does, that's what people get excited about. The national media has been down on this guy since McVay said he was trash, since McVay threw him away. Nationally, they still won't come around. Now, you look at Brady, and it took him some championships before they started looking at his pre-snap ability and his control of that team and that offense and realize, wow, this guy is that. He is the GOAT. He is the MVP. They win a Super Bowl this year, and they win 14 games again next year, and it will be super duper duper hard for them to exclude him and not, highlight him in a top 3 MVP. He should absolutely be top 3 this year. He's barely being discussed in the top 4. The last 3 years he's been fantastic.
So is Tom Brady? Isn't that when they were supposed to Tom Brady-ish him? But the fact that until he won, like what year? You brought up a great point, and I was trying to look it up, but
I'm going to find out when his first MVP was.
Right? How many years in, or how many Super Bowls in?
Great question.
Like because you bring up something that, okay, I can think about this, but I also think, wait a sec. Didn't Jared Goff, and you just told me, like hasn't he been showing this?
He's been fantastic for 3 years.
Fantastic. I do believe there is bias to the fact of that voting, or when it comes to that, is like, what would your team be if you weren't there? Right? I think that he suffers from that. I think it's the Chris Osgood Hall of Fame. If, like he suffers from that because like of the stuff around him.
And the national media looks at key moments. And the key moments, unfortunately, for Jared Goff are the 5-interception game at the Texans, which he still won, by the way. But I'm just telling you what the national media looks at. They look at that. They look at the Bills' loss at home, the way Josh Allen just came in here and pretty much had his way with the Detroit Lions defense. And they look at stuff like that. But I think
Jared
it's weak.
Goff's fault?
It's not.
But wait, D-Mac, 2002 Super Bowl, 2004 Super Bowl, 2005 Super Bowl. 3 rings before Tom got his first MVP in 2007.
That's crazy.
So
the first one he came in like mid-season, right, for Bledsoe.
Yeah, for Bledsoe.
It was in the playoffs when he came. I don't even know.
Right. But to Anson's, I'm going to give Anson a check mark on his argument.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
the fact of the consistency, fired, Spenny.
Sorry, it's a real quick. Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat with the super chat. He says the Lions are in a weird spot. The coaches don't get the credit because their players are so good, and the players aren't getting credit because the coaches are so
100.
good.
Yeah.
100.
They play the expectations
Absolutely.
card. I've said that. Like, now that the Lions have expectations, they have a reason to not give it to them is because we expect you to do this now. And that shit is weak to me, man. It is.
Well, listen, when they win the Super Bowl this year, everything changes the way that this team and every single player on it is looked
viewed,
at.
yeah.
Right now, there's still the feel-good story that we had from last year. But we started to see things change. We started to see hate from all of the fan base in the NFC North. And you're going to start seeing it more and more, just like the Chiefs get. But all that changes with a Super Bowl win.
That's true.
It changes the narrative, especially around Jared Goff, a guy that can't win the big one.
I mean, but he just wins, though. And that's
100.
my thing. Winning should be a QB stat, or it should play a part in the MVP voting, because you can have all the weapons in the world. It's about execution. Look at Joe Burrow. You got all the weapons in the world, number 1 offense, all that. Where you at?
Not in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Fishing.
All right, boys. Awesome. We're going to keep talking. I mean, Eve, there is football this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There is. We are on the bye.
There is.
We have barbecue
Love it.
to go
Yeah, I'm
to
excited for
and
that.
to watch and stuff like this. So we're going to keep talking football. We'll get to the nickel package. But first, Smitty, tell us about the pregame show.
I will. The pregame show, of course. But first things first, you got to wake up with Terry Foster and Matt Broder on Woodward in Maine.
Damn
and
right.
then you could go and see Neil and Sean on the pregame show every single playoff game. It's going to be at Second Best Bar. You know, home games are at Second Best, and we're not playing playoff games that aren't home games unless it's the Super Bowl. So go check them out at Second Best for the pregame show. And early in the morning, Terry Foster and Matt Broder for Woodward in Maine. It's presented by New Holland Brewing Company, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
1800 Tequila is the official tequila of the live watch party and postgame show here on Woodward Sports. They're also a proud partner of the Detroit Lions. You see, they got the cool black themed jerseys, bottles right there. So make sure you go get those. They're in stores near you now. 1800 Tequila, the smoothest taste of tequila, and please drink responsibly.
Oh, welcome back, Big D Energy here on a Friday. Sorry, we're having a little bit of internet issues, so I had to pull it up on my phone that I could see. Steve O baby, first one I pull up. D-Mac, you going to watch small people wrestle? Can I say What's
You
it
can
called?
say midgets. It was on the. It was on
Can I
the
watch
banner.
midget wrestling with you at the
I know,
watch
right?
party for it? Yeah, they're January 21st
Watch the little
at Hayes Social, and they
Heavyweights
fly
live.
around.
Guess
They're
where I
nuts,
will
bro.
be that day.
It's entertaining if you haven't seen them. So
I'm a little jealous,
it is
bro.
some of the
Sorry,
greatest
say
entertainment
Steve-O,
ever.
baby. 70% right now. You'll see me.
It's
there.
called Little
Yeah.
Mania.
Little Mania. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh, they changed it. It's not Midget Mania.
No, it said best or professional midget wrestling. It's called the event. It's called Little Mania.
Oh, got it.
Like WrestleMania, but
So
Little Mania.
is it PMW, their league?
I'm not sure, but go to littlemaniawrestling.com and get tickets. It's gonna be a blast.
I'm jealous. Though.
I really hope I get the chance to do ringside commentary.
That's what I wanted to
You
do.
sick son of a bitch!
You little bastard!
I can't wait.
My
Spenny,
God, you
would
could have
be
killed him.
Quite excellent at that, I believe.
I think so too. Right? I feel like I've had some good calls on the pregame or on the watch parties.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Very good, man.
You fired.
I'm excited.
Very good. I'm not gonna lie, you're great at it, but I definitely missed the 2-minute warning show. Covering those last 2 minutes, especially like when, I mean, Stick and I went a whole calendar year without a win. We started week 10 in 2020, and it was week 13 in 2021 that we finally got a W.
To pop the champagne.
And I mean, they were so close. There's so
Bro.
many times where we thought we were getting
Hello.
a W, but
Who's been here the whole time?
oh, I know.
You know, who's walked in the back office on the back wall where we wrote the wins on there,
man.
and you look at you think it's gonna get cold and snowy out today. It was cold, and that never moved for whatever. Are they still doing that back there, Spenny?
Yep. Oh yeah. Still keeping track.
Gosh,
It was
who's,
bad.
Who's putting it up? Noah, his arm must be just
Yeah.
like.
I think it's Ryan Lentz now.
Let's. We got to get him a wrist brace or something.
Yeah.
It's like signing an autograph. How many times every week?
That was it was pretty sad back there the first couple years of Woodward Sports because we had like 3 Victory Mondays in 2 years. But now that board is loaded with Victory Mondays.
we don't even pop champagne anymore, man.
Nope.
I love, like you said, look at the way it's evolved. You know, from this room where we'd have, Spenny, what do you think? We'd have 15, 20 people in here at the most, now to the Hayes Social, where you
Yeah.
see how events, and I mean, just like if you go back in the archives, like wherever, and just pull up clips of, you know, Spenny, you just had a great reaction to the win with Minnesota. I watched your clip go on that. So check out the stories and stuff like this for Woodward Sports.
Big
But
facts.
you can get the vibe of if you can't be there no matter what, you can be there with us.
Stick just posted one from a few years ago at Stick Radio on Twitter, and it's basically that first full year that we did, and it's just loss after loss after loss with a little win there towards the end, but it was really tough. It was brutal. I mean, we used to do it down at the brass rail right there in the hot corner in downtown, and I mean, there's nobody in there.
You know what? I can't wait. I can't wait because I'm all about like
Full
finishing
circle.
stories and
Yeah.
set circles. Is the reaction? I still remember watching it live when Justin Tucker doinked it, and
Yep.
you and Stick was like
A tale of two different
you
fans.
just laughed like, here we go. To have that, to be able to bookend that with Sheila getting the trophy at
Oh,
the
yes.
end of the year.
I still watch that clip too much,
It's
and I still
epically
laugh
one
just
of the
as
best
hard.
Woodward Sports clips ever.
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
It's got like 5 million views on Twitter on Stick's account.
wow.
But I mean, realistically, like I don't want to say, but I had just hit a milestone in age, and he was just still underneath it. And that's kind of what we had back then. Was we had these super hopeful fans that were kind of new to it, and he's not. I don't want to label him that, but we know Stick. The guy is
He's
he
slappy.
bleeds blue Kool-Aid.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So at the same point, like I remember asking my grandfather before he passed, I was like, why don't you watch the Lions anymore? He's one day you'll understand, son, you know. They'll break your heart. And so I just kind of expected it. When I saw that 66-yarder, I knew the record was 64. And you see my face, I was like, oh boy, he's going to hit this. This is the kind of stuff that the old Lions always fell into.
And shout out to Byrne in the Woodward Sports Chat with the Super Chat. He said the best 2-minute warning show was Jets-Lions 2022. The flip from Anson setting up for the loss to Stick losing it over the Brock Wright touchdown was something.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to write that
remember
down
that
and go
game,
back,
too.
my
That
friend.
game was awesome.
You guys got to go back through those, and somebody's going to cut up a highlight reel. But it's also too, because of the journey. Look at the journey to what we talked about at the beginning. We're now how in reverence, and as we're gonna get into it, we're gonna talk a little bit more. We're gonna get back on track, Spenny.
If there's one game I would urge guys to go look back at, it is Week 13, 2021, the first win with Minnesota. All right,
I was there.
And if you watch, honestly, like Stick and I are soothsayers during that episode.
Which game they beat? Who?
Their first win in 2021.
The first champagne pop.
That's right. The first champagne pop, and that was against the Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings.
That was when we had controlled the whole.
Where the Vikings? The what?
That was the Amon-Ra game winner, right?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, again, it's just consistently.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Well, no, we haven't lost to them since that game, I believe.
Yeah.
So, but belt to ass, baby. But
Skull.
But in the first half, we dominate, and Dan goes for it on fourth down a couple times in the second half, and it literally opened the door for the Vikings to come in and win the game, and we thought we had lost. Mm-hmm. And we went from this high to this low, but we talk about that offensive line like, man, this offensive line has the shapings of something that could be really great. And then we're talking about how, man, Jared Goff has really come a long way. Boy, this fourth-round pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, looks pretty decent. And then sure enough, it was Amon-Ra that capped that win off. That game specifically, which it's funny you bring that up because I have gone back this year and looked at a lot of the old games, and you forget how far we have come sometimes. But if there's one game you look at, watch that one, because Stick and I, we're obviously super hopeful, but we talked and covered all the things that now Lions fans have come to expect and rely on, why we have so much confidence week in and week out of this season.
What's the consistency of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's real.
It truly is.
It's a genuine that you have, and because what do you get? Now we're at the end of the season, and every week, what is the same message? Consistency, the same buy-in. We just see it more and more. We see it more and more, and it's not when the going is easy. It's when the going gets tough. That's when everybody digs in and digs in a little harder. What do you know the most about this team? Again, is what I always said. Why are they made to win? Then they got to go out and play, right? Whether they do, they're made to win. They're ready to go to war. Why? Because they have the reverence for the guy beside them. They talk about it. They openly, and you feel it. It ain't coach speak. It ain't blah 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 interview. It's genuine to a man, no matter who they're talking about throughout that team.
And just a fan in the Woodward Sports Chat says, I want some Spetty DMAC Red Wings talk. We do have a Red Wings 5-on-3 coming up, so stay tuned for that one.
We will. We're gonna get back on track here, and we're gonna hit stay on football and hit these nickel packages so that we can get you just a fan. Those Red Wing nickel packages. But first, you want to get your hair done before you're doing anything this weekend. You go to Lady Jane's because they take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylists for delivering industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot lather, neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Spenny, did you caught me in the act yesterday, bro?
I did.
You did.
Making the cut.
I made the cut yesterday, just so you could see a little behind the scenes. What goes into making this beautiful head.
You're loyal, too. You go to the same girl.
It's Beth.
Shout out Beth.
It's only Beth.
Big shout out.
Shout out Beth. Anyways, Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Caesar Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Make sure you scan that QR code above my head. Use code word Woodward1000, and your first bet up to $1,000 will be risk-free, meaning if it doesn't hit, you'll get it back in bonus bets up to $1,000. Make sure you get in there and use promo code Woodward1000. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports.
You know, we get a little wild here on this show, not like the Ermanni and Edwards. I kind of want to pull Beth up here, have her say hello, and then let somebody in the chat Grubhub her a $22 salad. You want to come up here real quick and say hi?
Who wants to buy Beth lunch?
She ain't gonna do it.
Let's do it.
Come on,
I gave her a little bit of a
it.
hard time for how expensive her beautiful
He's trying to
salad was
apologize,
yesterday.
Beth, so-
I'm trying to make it up to her. Who's going to buy this wonderful woman a salad? Come on up here. Come on.
I can give her the wireless.
There you go. Give her the wireless mic.
I
Or
got
hop
you.
in the booth with Kenny real quick. Whatever you want to do.
Here.
They want to buy you a $22 salad, Beth. They really do, though.
You live.
It's true.
Come on up here.
Just wait,
Here, just
Beth.
sit this- just
you don't have to.
Oops. There you go.
Anson, you're going to get her in trouble.
You're literally getting me in trouble.
Okay, so if anybody wants to get her a salad for $22, just send it up here. Birmingham.
Good job,
And,
Anson.
and,
It's
and
wicked
Beth,
awesome.
is it
Hanson,
official
broke the
you are
table.
in charge of this? You did corrupt this thing, so that's Beth's fault. So there you go.
All right.
So you can also too come in to Lady Jane's for all the hot leather knack shit, best the best at it, and you can ask for Bethany.
All right.
There
you
it
go. I
is.
think I fixed it.
Come on down. Thanks, Beth.
We appreciate your energy here.
This right there is karma.
Oh, it's fixed. I'm trying to get you a free salad. Sorry about that.
No,
Good job, Anson.
No, yeah, it's big. The energy.
That's right.
Hey, Spenny, top 5 things Anson would never do on Ermanni and Edwards.
Hey, that's a good one.
Can I drop the F-bomb?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, man.
Fuck
I haven't
yeah,
dropped
you
an
can.
F-bomb up on the desk in a long
Fucker.
time.
Just it's you know, you're sitting next to the Minister of Accountability and the head of HR, so I mean, like, you know, it's pretty much if DMAC would do it.
Greatest-
It's all in great context.
Greatest head of HR ever.
Yeah.
100,000,000%. All right, Spenny, let's get this thing going. We got nickel packages. Like I said, we're gonna all be barbecuing. Everybody going to Sean's barbecue this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I'll be there.
You popping in?
I mean, if I'm invited.
Of course you are.
Oh my gosh, everybody. Anyways, I'll be. Hey, just you know what? I ain't worried about you. Everybody here, which is the open invite to everybody at Woodward who's in the back, even you, Flannel.
Flannel.
It's
It's
on the west
gonna be
side?
epic, but there will be football games on and impactful football games. Which the fact, Spenny, leads us to our first nickel package of the weekend.
Yep, first question, the bye-week nickel package. First one, if you could only have one back for the Lions' first matchup in the playoffs, who is more important, Kevin Zeitler or Terrion Arnold?
I'll lead off with this one. I'm going to say Terrion Arnold. I think what I've seen from Christian Mahogany and with the way that the offensive line has been able to adjust no matter who we're going to play, I just think Terrion Arnold, you know, being out there, the maturity that he's shown, what he means, and obviously, you know, like the confidence that Amik Robinson's going to have coming off the game that he had, I think, with the rest. So I would say Terrion Arnold. I want that secondary to be as tight and as available as possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely it's TA. You got way more depth at that guard position if Zeitler weren't to come back. But TA is your number one corner right now. And say what you want about the kid. If he's not out there and you just got to rely on Amik and whatever else they got, Kendall Vildor, it's going to look a little different. And I love Amik, but it's going to look different without TA out there.
Yeah, the offensive line has been the one unit that really hasn't shown on the field any problems due to injury. They've had guys some weeks that are out and then they come back. Zeitler's a Pro Bowler and he's been our best signing in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that offensive line can get by without him. Without Carlton Davis on the field, you've got to have TA healthy.
Yeah.
It allows Amik to play a little more situational corner instead of being that number one. And as fantastic as he was against JJ last week, that familiarity from high school went a long way. So I think that him having the bookend of another top corner out there in what Terrion's becoming, went from a pass interference liability to one of the better young corners in the league, in my opinion. So TA being out there would be huge.
And just one thing, Spetty, before you hit the super chat, in your opinion, is the fact Carlton Davis isn't there.
Yeah.
That's why it's, to me, I wanted to say that because it's so more important.
100.
And the real K77 in the Woodward Sports Chat says TA all day. And so, yeah, dude, you need Terrion out there. Hopefully, he said he's going to play, so I believe the kid. Next up, next question of the nickel package. Do you trust this pass rush in the playoffs?
I trust AG in these playoffs. Yeah. We are getting healthier. I've spoken about it ad nauseum on Wednesdays. When you have a team that goes through injuries on their way to a historic season, you have a lot of other guys step up and play. And I forget exactly who it was, but I saw a quote this week about, I know it was DJ Reader. And he was just talking about how it didn't matter all these guys that have gone out. In fact, it's kind of strengthened them because they've gotten to know each and every guy that comes in. And as a unit, much like we just talked about with that offensive line, they've been able to overcome these injuries. But we saw AG dial up some stuff that he was holding in his bag over the last month, and he brought it out against Minnesota. We got to the quarterback, gave up no touchdowns. I have faith in this defensive line.
Yeah, I think it's committee, right? It's just by committee, and it might look different. I think we can all agree it looks different, and you have more leeway when you have the blonde bomber behind you running sideline to sideline. You know, so
you know who shared that nickname?
What's that?
You know who shared that nickname?
Who?
Bobby Blonde Bomber Lane.
Oh, Bobby Lane.
That was his actual nickname. Yeah.
There you go. So I think that they'll find a way between the schemes, and you look at guys that maybe you haven't heard of. Like you're gonna get a Pat O'Connor that's gonna be healthy after
the Prophet.
Few weeks off.
The Prophet Muhammad, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, it's a committee thing, and they know that's next man up. And when you have next man up mentality and you have talent, that's when you can accomplish things and schemes.
And I think Anzalone is such a key because having him to be able to play in coverage, to be able to follow a mobile quarterback, that allows AG to dial up blitzes from beyond just the front four.
Dude, and the key is you free Campbell.
Yep.
Dude,
100%.
And shout out to Jack Campbell for the job he did holding things in place while Anzalone was gone. But now with that experience, you've sort of you see that. So I think to that point, it all plays together.
And next question of the Lions nickel package. David Montgomery expected to return in this game. What are your expectations for him when you talk about workload-wise?
30 to 35% snap count. Normally he's around a 45 to 50 snap count. They're going to use him, but they want him for the full playoffs. So I don't see him getting a ton of work. They might not even give him goal line work.
It all depends on the game. I think they'll optimize having him out there, but won't jeopardize moving forward.
I like that.
So, but it's also too is you know what, you're cooking with Gibbs right now, right? So you have the luxury of keep cooking, and maybe it's 20% plays. I think that what it will be is it will be effective.
Yeah, from a scheme standpoint, you still got to use Monty just so you can throw defenses off, because the way they utilize both backs from drive to drive is always different. But you need to lean on Gibbs during this playoff reign. Monty's not healthy, so Gibbs needs to be your number one back.
And Monty could be really used a lot as a play-action decoy without having to give him the ball.
Yeah, Gibbs will be doing a lot of blocking as well for Jared Goff in the play-action.
And next question of the bye-week nickel package. Are the coaching interviews a distraction?
No.
I mean, honestly,
it's a distraction for the fans.
I get that you want to have your guy in place, but during the playoffs to have one of your staff members leave and go to another city, I do think that it is a distraction. It's 100% a distraction. It's not only a distraction for that guy to have to leave and go physically to another city to get that interview, but it's a conversation piece, whether it's just the fans talking about it, whether there's whispers in the locker room. Even if it's a small distraction, it's 100% at least a distraction.
I look at it differently because having a bye week, right? And if the team gets a couple days off, you're free to do with what you want. It's not like nobody knows you're getting it. Nobody's doing it in secret.
But this isn't just for the number 1 seed. This is for all the playoff teams. It's a distraction for anybody that's having their. Go ahead.
No. You could say like the distraction to whatever. It's got to be, but it's inevitability. I think it goes into the relationship. To each guy, is somebody have their foot out the door, or are they committed to what's at hand? So it's just like the process, and I think like individually, I don't think that anything that Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson did to entertain any coaching offer hindered anything that will move forward for our team. I don't give a shit about the rest of the league.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I only care about our guys, and I believe because task at hand, their number 1 priority is right now and here. They're just, if they got to go through whatever
the motions
it is, because that's what it is. The communication is there. So I don't think in this case with my team, I don't really care about the rest of the teams. Yeah, if you had a playoff game that week and they were doing that, how could it not be? Because you're taking away from your game plan.
If I was in charge, I would put a rule out there that basically says you cannot be interviewed until you've been eliminated. And to your point, like some of the best teams have the best coaching candidates. So if you have to wait until February to interview the top-notch candidates, that's what you do. You start the process a month later than some other teams
I don't
did.
Disagree with that.
But you're interviewing the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Somebody gets eliminated in the first round, now you can talk to them. And realistically, you're going to have what? You're going to have 18 teams to be able to interview come January.
Yeah.
And then after that, a couple more teams get added to it. And if you're really waiting for Ben Johnson, you might have to wait until the Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl.
And so I get what you're getting at, but this is the life cycle in the offseason of the NFL. You are going to get interviewed by teams, and we got 2 good guys here. I don't think they would jeopardize anything that the Lions got going on just to take an interview. And also, a lot of these interviews are virtual. They don't necessarily have to leave in order to complete the interviews. So I don't think it's that big of a distraction. It's more of a talking piece for the fan base.
But if they're gone just a day, that's less time with the team.
But I promise you, like D-Mac said, if that day, they knew that day was coming, they wouldn't let it interfere with anything they got going on in terms of this playoff.
And I agree with that, but to my point again, any moment not spent with the team, even if you schedule it and the team's okay with it, that's time that could have been spent game planning.
True, but I think they got all the game planning that they need. But I get what you're getting at, but I just don't think it's that.
I think it would just be a very small, simple change that would just protect current playoff teams, you know?
And final question of the Lions nickel package. What is the ideal scenario for the Lions in their first game?
Like, who do they play?
Who do you want to see first?
Ooh. I really don't want to see the Rams. I think that they probably are the easiest win for us, but that would be the most unpalatable loss that I could ever fucking handle as a Lions fan.
What, you're worried about?
No, I'm not worried about the Rams at all. But if some crazy bounce,
who do you want to chew up and spit out?
I'm just saying if the ball bounces off of Vildor's helmet again, and somehow Stat Padford comes out of here with a win and comes back with the retribution party, and Kelly Stafford leaves wearing a crown, I have a real problem with that.
I'm scared.
I know.
No,
right?
I'm not scared at all. I'm just saying that's the one. That's the one loss I could. I would not be able to make it through the offseason dealing with.
I think I want Green Bay.
I do too.
Yeah,
that's the easiest win.
I said on the morning show the Vikings, because we are already in their head. A lot of their fan base already thinks they won't even make it past the Rams in the first round.
I don't think so either.
But if they got to come back to Ford Field, I mean, come on now. They not winning that.
It's a lot of traveling in about 13, 14 days.
Exactly.
I want the Packers. Let's go to break. We'll come back and we'll throw up Doc Macaroon from Detroit Sports
Shout
Podcast.
Out.
Sat down with Amik Robertson, had a one-on-one with him. So appreciate that, and we got some clips from that. I love to hear him and Amon-Ra going at it in camp is what he's going to be talking about. But first, let me tell you guys about Second Best Bar. Should be your first choice when you're looking at pregame, a game, an event, a concert, going to a casino, whatever you're doing downtown. Stop at Second Best first, 42 Watson Street. They got the best patty melt in the city. Make sure you check them out, and of course, get the Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey shots when you're down there. Second Best Bar downtown. They should be your first choice when you're going out.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
When I stop at Second Best before the Pistons game on Saturday, you know I'm going to be drinking the taller long drinks from New Holland Brewing Company. They're delicious, real grapefruit puree and gin-based cocktail made here in Michigan. So support Michigan and just enjoy the best canned cocktail you can with taller long drink from New Holland Brewing Company.
Big D Energy here on a Friday. D-Mac, Hanson, in for Neil. Be back Monday. KG, Spenny. Get through some of the nickel packages. And your point, I think we can all agree they should have a rule that until you're out, you can't poach. But it is the NFL Billionaires Club. Everybody wants it now. Right? So
if you can't talk to players
now.
If you can't talk to players right now, why can you talk to coaches?
No,
That's my deal.
I agree. Maybe they should change the rules. So Spenny was talking about, and I alluded to at the beginning of the show, about how it's BNL, brand new Lions, the culture. Anson was explaining how the SOL is split off, and it's not about what goes on in the culture. And you always look for reasons or conversations of guys of how it becomes that way, and it's more of the competitive soul. It's where does it come from, and we all know Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? We know his workout ethic. We know his dad's a bodybuilder. We watch his podcast. We see what a competitor he is. What he says, how he fights, how petty he is, which I love, which fits right in. But you don't really know a lot about other guys, right? And so I think this is a great way. Spenny was talking about some of the interviews. So what do you got here, Spenny?
Yeah, it's from Doc Macaroon of Detroit Lions on SI and the Detroit Sports Podcast. He had a one-on-one interview with Amik Robertson, and this is Amik talking about him and Amon-Ra going back and forth at training camp.
You get to practice against one of the dogs in the National Football League and Amon-Ra St. Brown and the other receivers. And we hear about the practices. What's it like one-on-one battle with him? Because I know you're competitive and I know 14's competitive. What's it like? Because I know you both probably are miserable if you lose a single rep.
Yeah, the first day, speaking of the first day I got here, man, I knew coming into here, it wasn't gonna be. I knew a lot of guys knew who I was because of I was the guy that was, chirping a lot when we played them when I was at the Raiders. So I knew that some guys were gonna know who I was. But I knew what kind of team this was. Like, you can't just come in and just think. You gotta earn that, man. You gotta earn that. And that's what I wanted to do. And I remember the first day, OTAs, man, me and Amon-Ra St. lined up across from each other. And he was killing me, dog. Like, I'm talking about, he went about 4 for 4 on me. Like, in certain situations we was going through in 7-on-7. And I went home and I'm like, I did not come here to be like, this is nah, I'm a dog too. I don't care if he's Amon-Ra St. Like, I've just came from going against Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if he's, it was a respect thing, but it was mostly me telling myself he's a dog, but I'm a dog too. And that next day, I went crazy. Like, the next day I went crazy. I'm talking about interception. I went crazy, man. And guys are like, he could play. But just lining up across from a guy like that, he's hard worker, competitive. We all know about his background. Hard worker, man, competitive guy, very reliable, dependable. this team going into the right direction with guys like Amon-Ra Saint, man. Like that's all I can see. Guys like Panay, Amon-Ra Saint, Golf, J Mo, like this, give this team is going into the right direction.
How's that make you feel, or when you see that? Because the ones?
No, just breaking news here. The All-Pro list has released for the Associated Press, and Kirby motherfucking Joseph is first team All-Pro.
Hell yeah.
You damn right. Take your goddamn NFLPA All-Pro. First team All-Pro safety, Kirby Joseph. Put some respect on that man's name. Led the league in interceptions, led the league in passer rating when targeted. This man is a dog.
But not a Pro Bowler.
But not a Pro Bowler. Other Lions that made the first team All-Pro.
Nobody care about a flag football
That's
game.
2 years in a row that they've done that to us.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, also first team All-Pro wide receiver. Penei Sewell, first team All-Pro right tackle. So eat shit, PFF. No, oh, man. Vindication, baby.
Yeah.
Shout out Kirby Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
He deserves it.
So I watched
that Amik.
That's your dog. Speaking of dogs,
Big Curve.
Jack Fox, also first team All-Pro punter.
Oh, he better be. Best foot in the game. When I watched that Amik interview, the big thing that stood out to me was when I got here, I knew I had to earn it. And that's because of the new culture of the BNL Lions. I'll say it. I think in years past, guys would take a contract and come here and be like, I'm gonna change things. I'm the dog. I'm the man. And just the fact that he knew the type of team that he was coming to, it just sounded so different from any other strong free agent we've ever had in the past.
Well, it's actions accountability. It's more like when I see stuff like that, it's sort of like people asked me in the past, what was it like having one of the guys that's the most hated and Chris Chelios come from Chicago into your locker room in Detroit, right? Where there's a respect, but there's also too, like, and I wouldn't say like a test because it's over time and stuff like that, but there's a point real early that guys on new teams make it known that I'm on your team and a part of that. So, whether it was sticking up for a teammate real early or instigating something else, because Chelly, as much as he used to try to take Sergei Fedorov's head off when he was with Chicago, would try to take somebody else's head off if they tried to go after Sergei.
Let me get a D-Mac welcoming Chelly to the Red Wings story.
No, see, Chelly's like such a OG or whatever, like on the ice, and I used to chase him around. I used to grab him all the time because he'd be trying to get Stevie or Sergey, and there'd be in a scrum, and you never got a fight with him, but he'd always make you laugh, and he'd always try to it was just it was just the mannerisms that he is. So because of trying to kill him so much over the years. Over a few years, you get to know what a guy's sort of all about. It's funny on the ice and just reputation and that. So I think it was more like with guys like Chelly, or it's not anything on the ice. It's having off the ice. Going out to Vancouver and going out for wings and drinks and stuff like that.
But I know you tested him one of those first practices when he was wearing red and white.
Well, it's not because he's sort of on your team. Then that's not the time is you want to see what it is, because it is a little bit different. I think more of the better example that you're looking for is Thomas Holmstrom.
Okay.
When Thomas Holmstrom was drafted, coming in as the demolition man from Sweden or whatever like that, and you got to come into the grind line and Marty LaPointe and everything, we're going to test you.
Yeah.
And we tried to kill him.
Yeah.
In training camp the first year.
I love it.
No, literally, because it was but the difference is Chelly's when the elite come over. Right now they're part of the royalty, where Homer comes over, he's part of the grunts, and he's in the pit and whatever. So we're like dogs, so we got to test him out. Is he going to be? So I think the analogy there, if you ask Homer, because he always say, "Oh yeah, Mac tried killing me like this," and we couldn't, and that's where you gain that respect on that level, and that's what the comparison to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Amik Roberts coming over.
The Red Wing
Thomas
rookie
Lundstrom.
welcome.
Well, so to your class, right? To your class, if you want, because that's the way Homer.
Datsuk got a much different welcome, I imagine.
Right, because of the skill level, but he also too, dude. He also had to spend. You'll appreciate this, but he had Hully, so he had Hully chirping in his ear the whole time and stuff like that. But Brett Hull's a smart hockey player. He realized what he had real early. But yeah, there's levels to it. Where Hank Zetterberg that compete, he was more on the Iserman where he had to be protected. He didn't need to be tested.
Sure.
Cronwall, same way. Like there's different guys. Like Homer though, boom. Be getting in there because you're part of the meat and potatoes of the guys.
Love hearing player stories, and I know my man KG's a big Datsuk fan.
Oh yeah, best Red Wing of my generation anyway. So
magician.
Yeah. Dante 151 with a super chat in the Woodward Sports chat. He says, "Is the Deshaun Watson trade the worst trade in NFL history?" Deshaun Watson torn Achilles. 2025 season in question now after surgery, because my God, before Watson injury, he only had 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions and 1,148 passing yards in 6 fucking games. Thank God we have Jared Goff.
Yeah, that's the worst deal in history. It
is.
I
mean, there's so many things that make it terrible. His performance, his contract, and the capital they had to give up. I can't even think of something that compares. Like a lot of people like to talk about the Roy Williams or the Herschel Walker trades. Those made other teams, but the Vikings still got a great running back. The Cowboys still got a pretty darn good wide receiver back. But you get a guy that's not only terrible on the field, but he's also a terrible look for your team. Like, this guy is not acquired by any means. You give him multiple first rounders and you're paying him through the teeth. By far, hands down, the worst trade of all time.
And it set up the Texans to win back-to-back division titles.
That's a fact. All y'all had to do was get that man his massages back. He would have been good.
Facts. We're going to go to break, though. We're going to come back. I want to talk about this all-pro list, the Lions that made it, the Lions that didn't make it, and what's going on there. But first, let me tell you guys about Mark White. Mark White, if you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. Save up to $5,000 on your closing costs. Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-8242. That's 248-290-8242. Again, 248-290-8242. MarkWhiteSells.com. He will get you in your dream home.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Oh, Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, since 1996. Feldman Automotive has done their best to provide a convenient car buying experience with the Feldman Advantage. Make sure you tap in. There are a ton of locations near you. You can go to the Novi store, which we are currently every other week doing live broadcasts from. So make sure you tap in. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Is that Ice Cube selling car insurance?
Yeah, it gets to all of us, man.
Hey, man.
Well, you got Ice Cube.
Ice-T, excuse me. That was Ice-T.
Yeah, I was about to say
Ice-T.
Ice-T does those commercials.
Don't get your T's and your cubes mixed up, man.
Come on, I love that. Have you seen that commercial where it's like the iced tea with the ice cubes in it, and then got all their faces on it? I don't know, whatever.
Your street cred is in question.
All right, it's a Big D Energy Friday here. KG, D-Mac, Anson, and for Neil Spenny. You were talking about breaking news and respect put on Kirby Joseph's name.
That's big.
To name one. I mean, obviously they got Penny Sewell, right? And Amon-Ra St. Brown. You always wonder if he's going to get disrespected, but the powers that be did not disrespect him.
Yeah, and so it is released. The AP NFL First Team All-Pro list is Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Ricard for fullback. Then the wide receivers are Chase Jefferson and St. Brown. The tight end is Brock Bowers. And then you got Tristan Wirfs at the left tackle, Joe Tooney at left guard, Creed Humphrey at center, Quinn Miners at right guard, and Penei Sewell at right tackle.
Yeah, I'm right.
At defense, you got Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson for defensive end, Cam Hayward and Chris Jones for defensive tackle. Linebackers are Zach Braun, Fred Warner, and Roquan Smith. Cornerbacks are Patrick Surtain and Derek Stingley. Slot is Marlon Humphrey. Safeties, Kirby Joseph and Xavier McKinney. Kicker, Chris Boswell. Punter, Jack Fox.
Yeah.
Hey, you love to hear that. And then the second team Lions that made it were Frank Ragnow at center and Khalif Raymond as the returner.
Nice.
Oh, ready to go.
No Kevin Zeitler, no Brian Branch, no Jahmyr Gibbs.
No Jared Goff.
No Jared Goff. I think Gibbs and Goff, we kind of, I don't want to say expected, but like with what Lamar and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen did, it'd be tough to put Goff over them. And with what Saquon and Derrick Henry did, it'd be tough to put Gibbs over them.
Well, I know Kirby is your guy, Spenny.
Yes.
Now, after he got disrespected and
Day
left
one
off the
guy,
Pro Bowl,
by the way.
Day one.
You kind of had to think after what happened to St. Brown last year, having the exact same thing happen, left off the Pro Bowl, off the Pro Bowl and then put on the All-Pro list.
Yep.
I mean, I can't really remember that happening to too many guys, but I firmly thought all week that Kirby was going to end up still being a first-team All-Pro.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. You knew it. And it's just these jealous bitches that are hating on Zoop. Like, this man, Kirby Joseph, is the best safety in the NFL. This man, Kirby Joseph, leads the league in interceptions. He leads the league in passer rating when targeted. He had the most fan votes for the Pro Bowl for the second year in a row, by the way, for safety. This man is a dog. He is a game changer. He's the best ball hawk in the league. And I'm glad to see the Associated Press get it right. I'm glad to see the Associated Press get it right because Kirby Joseph is the best safety in the league, and now he's stamped as a first-team All-Pro. So Vikings fans, suck my fucking cock. Eat shit. Your team sucks. You're going to lose to the Rams, and stop talking down on Zoop. He's the best safety in the fucking league.
Spenny, how many games do you think his big play or big interception in the fourth quarter won for us? Because I want to say there's about 3.
At least 3. And I see this stat here proves why Kirby Joseph is so important for this team. That red zone defense was arguably the greatest red zone defense in the history of the NFL. When you look at it from this stat, the teams passing against the Lions.
Why don't you read that for us, Spenny?
Teams passing against the Lions in the red zone were 7 of 52. That's 13.5% for 71 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions for a 39.6 quarterback rating.
Wow.
This marks the most interceptions, lowest completion percentage, and lowest passer rating by any NFL team. One of the best red zone defenses in the history of football, and we know Kirby Joseph came down with quite a few interceptions in the end zone for the Detroit Lions this year.
And it's just further validation that the Pro Bowl don't mean shit. At this point, what does the Pro Bowl mean?
Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowler, but Kirby Joseph isn't?
Yeah, come on.
Obviously not this year, but Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowler a couple years ago, but Kirby Joseph hasn't been. I don't give a fuck about your Pro Bowl. Give me first team All-Pro.
No doubt. No doubt.
Which, by the way, Spenny, which is the more? That's the one you want, right?
Yeah, of course.
If you were gonna get right, that's the one you want because that puts you best out of best. Who are they voted differently?
The Pro Bowl is by players. Well, it's the fan vote, which Kirby Joseph won 2 years in a row. Most fan votes for safety in the Pro Bowl last year and this year, and then it's a players and coaches vote and the players and coaches kept him out.
So-
and that's because Matthew Stafford is a bitch and started this bullshit-ass narrative
That
he's dirty.
That he's dirty, yet he's never been flagged or fined.
Never fined, never suspended.
Conspiracy theory, Stafford. You sure you don't want to play him and fucking ruin his nightmare and boo them kids?
No.
You don't
Honestly,
like the network? You don't want to sell some shirts?
I was just saying the game that I fear losing the most, but no, there is no better victory than beating up on the Stafford
Anson,
family.
do you not understand that the fear, like that's like having like back
I'm
in the
not
day,
afraid
fear
of
in
it.
Colorado.
I'm just
no. You have to embrace the fact that you can get the absolute living crap beat out of you, or the worst case scenario to fire you up to play the bet.
Embrace the suck.
I look at how great it would feel because of what Spenny just said. Right? You know what I mean?
That's the biggest win and the worst loss.
Who votes on the All-Pro, Spenny?
That's the Associated Press.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the guys that actually watch the game and might take that stat into consideration and see a lot of the whole picture instead of just their own individual picture.
100%. And you see, like Marlon Humphrey. They do the top 100 list. Marlon Humphrey put out his list of his top 20 players in the NFL, and Kirby Joseph and Jared Goff are both in it. And Marlon Humphrey, one of the best corners in the NFL.
Panay in it too?
Panay, I did not see Panay in it. He might have been. I'm not sure.
I mean, is there an offensive lineman, in your opinion, that is on the level or better than Panay?
No.
Me neither.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
No. He's the best player in the NFL.
Right. I heard somebody say this about, like, they were saying deference to Ben Johnson to go other places. Ben Johnson be asking, but no, you can't go there. The right tackle can't throw a pass. Right, right tackle can't run an end around bootleg or whatever like that. You don't have the trickery to feed us, but like that. But that's all you hear, right? The athlete, the athleticism, and I think the evolution. I mean, we see it all around.
Those pregame speeches are pretty phenomenal as well.
Oh, it's amazing.
Well, that's where it's all in too. You feel, hey Kenny, don't you feel like it's like, what did you say earlier on? The Samoan who was
giving
it.
Well, don't give him no validation on that joke.
What do you call a Samoan mathematician? Tua is a foa.
Put your ones up.
Kenny hates it so much he had to cue up the booth.
It's not a good joke.
I think Panay drops that right at the beginning.
There we go.
Tua is a foa. Let's go win the game. Like, come on, dog.
I love it, man. I love it. It's just it's vindication. And I'm happy for Kirby Joseph because he gets a lot of slander thrown on his name by stupid ass fucking Vikings fans, even though their great safety, their stud, said it's not dirty the way he tackles, and I tackle that way too when you're talking about Harrison Smith.
There you go.
So I know these delusional pussy-ass Vikings fans keep pushing that narrative, but it doesn't matter anymore because he's first-team All-Pro, and there's nothing you could say about it, you little bitch. So go home, have fun getting kicked out of the playoffs by our ex, and Kirby Joseph is going to be lifting that Lombardi trophy this year.
I love that it happened to Spenny's favorite player.
I love
it.
it.
He's so fired up about it.
Big Herb is the man.
You were pissed last week.
I was very pissed last week.
I love that you got that today.
No, I love that you got that today. Spenny, why don't we just
let's go to break early.
Take the break early. Come back, and you know what? There's other teams in this town.
Really?
That are winning, even though last night the Pistons.
First loss in the state.
I want to give the Pistons their love first, Benny, before we give the Red Wings their love. It's just that they've deserved it for their hard work. Hard work matters, at least for me, and if it does for you, I'll tell you a way to relax. Woodward fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jars Cannabis, they've got you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest lineup of rec cannabis products. We've got 27 locations across the state, repping Michigan in a big way. 9 locations are right in Metro Detroit, so there's always one nearby. And if you're in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, get ready. New stores are coming your way soon. Darren McCarty brand will be everywhere real soon. Oh my gosh. With new flavors and everything. So
y'all ain't ready, man.
Jars.
Y'all ain't ready.
Feldman Chevrolet. Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Are you overdue for a new car? Beat the holiday rush and get an amazing deal from Les Stanford Chevrolet. Right now, a Blazer EV 2LT with all-wheel drive is only $149 per month. Or check out the Equinox EV LT for only $169 per month. Get the Les Stanford today or click on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Don't forget, Les Stanford has Cadillac, Buick, and GMC as well. Les Stanford in Dearborn and Ferndale. LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive. Boom, boom. Big D Energy here. Friday, moving along. All pro list. Penny's vindicated. Kirby Joseph on that list. Penny Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Blackjack Fox.
I like that.
Hey, who is by far like the consistent weapon over the last?
He had the highest net punt average in NFL history this year.
Oh.
Teams average less than 8 yards against us on punt returns for the whole season.
And tell me that's not like the weapon.
Oh, it really is.
No, it absolutely is. We're talking about other teams that have been rolling in this town. Last night, come up a little bit short. Let's talk Detroit Pistons. Spenny, a 107-104 loss to Golden State. Felt like it got close, but it never could get close enough. What'd you see? You know, the effort obviously was there. They fought to the end. It just a little too late.
Little too late. And it's Cade didn't have the best first half. You saw him come alive in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, scoring, was it 15, 16 points in the fourth quarter, something like that. But what I saw was they didn't have the offense. Their defense was still great, but when you don't have Jaden Ivey, obviously, and Tim Hardaway Jr. was out for this game as well, you were relying on two guys to be your primary offense, really, 2.5, I guess, if you want to count Tobias Harris as well. But you didn't have the offense there. Even with Steph Curry having a bad game, you couldn't get past it because the Golden State Warriors, I know people talk about the Splash Brothers and what they do offensively shooting the ball. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the NFL or in the NBA for a very long time. And so the defense was there for the Golden State Warriors. And unfortunately, Cade couldn't put the team on his back completely there in the fourth quarter. Came up just short. Very close down to the wire game at the end of it. But you're missing Jaden Ivey big time in that way. You have Jaden Ivey, you win that game, no doubt.
Can I tell you why I feel they lost? Because you ride the back of Cade Cunningham until there's 4 seconds left and he's inbounding the ball?
Yeah.
Okay. Tobias Harris should be inbounding the ball. Obviously, they want to maybe get a look to Beasley, but for me, the ending of that game after the scuffle between Ron Holland and Michigan State's own Draymond Green, the savvy veterans of the Warriors outplayed the young, inexperienced Pistons. But I felt that our coach showed his inexperience at that last draw up, okay? You get Beasley, gets the ball, and has plenty of room and an opportunity. The guy comes flying by him. All he had to do was put the ball on the ground one time, and he still got 3 seconds left to shoot. I thought that he rushed that shot, but the fact that you don't even have Cade on the floor, he's out of bounds, inbounding the ball. A guy that's just been super hot in the fourth quarter. going forward, who do you want taking the final shot in the playoffs?
I would
KG?
like to be Cade, but he's also the best passer on the team. So I'm not necessarily mad at that, especially when you have a Malik Beasley who's leading the NBA.
But let's say Malik Beasley gets double teamed and he doesn't come open. Now who's taking the shot? Ron Holland? You know what I'm saying?
I get that part.
Both
it
should be
would
on
probably
the floor.
be Tobias, but I
But
get
the
your
two
point.
of them should have been playing a two-man game up on top on the perimeter, and you hit either one because both of them are a good option. But to me, creating and manifesting that last-minute option is what we need to do with Cade. He's already shown he's an all-star.
Yeah.
We need to show that we have the firm trust in him like you had with Kobe, like you had with Zeke, like you had with Bird. He's taking that last shot, and if it ends up in Beasley's hands, it's because they shut Cade down,
Right.
and that's your alternative option.
No, I'm not mad at that logic. I do feel like, they do trust Cade in fourth quarters. Like he said, he pretty much carried this team on his back. You can just check his stat line, 36 points.
absolutely.
He was filling up the stat sheet everywhere else as well, especially on the defensive end. But, I mean, sometimes you just come a little short, man, and he did his best. He had the free throw in which he got the rebound. The refs kind of, offset it and made him do the inbound pass, and then we got the finish that we got. But overall, I mean, some nights Cade is going to have to facilitate for somebody else because everybody know who the ball is going to in late game situations.
You know the last time a point guard inbounded at a crucial moment? Bud stole a ball underneath to DJ.
I have a question for all you basketball heads. Is Cade Cunningham not at a point now that he can dictate that I want this ball in?
But he does do that, though.
What?
He does do that.
No, but
He's
no.
not
So
gonna go
I'm
though.
saying is in this particular case, I defer to Bickerstaff and Cade. I think Cade called this play. Like, are we not there?
He's not going to do that. He that's not the
Or
type of guy.
so
Cade
you
is.
think that he's not there to in that?
If he went up to JB Bickerstaff and said,
And
"I
we're-
want the ball,"
right,
Is that his next
ball.
evolution?
But that's not who he is.
But is that his next evolution?
No, that's becoming a diva. And
No, it's not.
JB
No, it's not.
Bickerstaff has drawn up multiple game-winning plays
For
already
Cade,
this season
yeah.
for the Pistons. I believe in JB Bickerstaff in what he's going to draw up. They got a good look at it from their best passer to the best shooter, and inbounding the ball with 4 seconds left. That's one of the best positions to be in because you can come right off and people forget about the inbounder to get the pass back if the shot isn't there. But the shot was there, so it was a good play. It just didn't make
And
it.
then maybe Spetty, that's the question. Right? What was it? Was the two option? It was the give and go, or
You
if
had
he
two
was a
good looks.
look with the guy who's shooting
Yeah.
the highest percentage.
'Cause
are they on the same? The question to me, to you basketball guy, are they on? Do they win together and do they lose together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because isn't that the step?
Yeah.
Isn't that where they're at? And if drawing up the plays where this was the best that they start to defer to that, you can question it.
Well, I think it was a good loss for them. I think that it makes them examine their end game scenarios. This isn't the Toronto Raptors that they lost to.
Yeah.
This is a very good team led by a guy that is in that GOAT conversation, not the GOAT, but a GOAT.
Right, absolutely.
And so you look at that game and you look at that final play, because I do agree that you've got the give and go play where you can inbound and get it back to Cade, but Beasley gets the ball and just turns and fires while he's falling away from about 25.
Yeah.
Now, if he
But he can
takes
hit
just
that
a
shot.
split second and pump fakes, he's either got to step up wide open 23-footer or the give back to Cade.
But if you wait, the defender could, contest it a little bit better. So I don't disagree per se, but they had two good looks at it. I mean, like I said, the Cade rebound off the free throw, he gets it out to Fontecchio. It ends up getting blown dead by the whistle. But Fontecchio had a good look. He just didn't make it. And then Malik Beasley, he can make that shot. So I'm not mad. They had two good looks at it. It just didn't go.
It was a good play call.
Fontecchio 1 of 7 on the day.
Yeah, right.
And obviously that was a situational thing where he was taking a quick one. And again, I don't have an issue with Beasley there.
Yeah.
But if I'm the coach and I'm looking at that, my two best shooters I am having on the floor together, because realistically, with Tobias Harris, he's one of our best three-point shooters as well.
Yeah.
So that same give and go is going to be open to him if they don't have an open
why
look.
JB Bickerstaff's the coach?
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. I think they look at
so
this
my
and they
question
learn.
is, do you think he thought about it? Do you think this is, and JB Bickerstaff's thought process go through all these great points that you're making
After the fact?
Because I can guarantee you, yes, he did, and this is the decision that he made as a team.
I think that's where he likes Cade, and because say
Right,
what you want
because I
about
think what
he's
you
doing,
said.
his shooting,
4
his scoring,
seconds, not 1 second, not 1.2 seconds. 4 seconds, you could still make a pass and a play, right?
Yeah.
His shooting, his scoring, his what he's been doing this year, the 30-point games, those are awesome. The best part about Cade Cunningham's game is his playmaking and his passing ability.
Thank you. He's
He is
best
one of
passer
the
on
best
the team.
passers in the NBA, and we've seen multiple times this year. Late game scenarios, we need a bucket. Guess who's on the sideline inbounding the ball? Cade Cunningham. They get the alley-oop for the dunk, for the win, for the tie. It's happened multiple times already this season. In those late game scenarios, in those last possession games, you want Cade Cunningham inbounding the ball because he's going to make the best decision and get the ball to the player in the best shot scenario. And then, like I said, the inbounder is also a big player on that. Coming right back off the inbounds, you could get it right back to Cade, and I bet he's setting that up. Like Ben Johnson sets up these plays down games away where you do. I bet he's setting up a pass back to Cade Cunningham after the inbounds for the shot. I guarantee we see that at one point this year.
Now, to be fair, a couple of those game winners were basically with a second or less.
Yeah.
So to me, I am having Cade throw that pass because we're not asking Cade to go and dunk over people like we asked Ron Holland or we asked Jalen Duren. As a high school head coach for 4 years, I still look back on some of my decisions literally 15 years later that bother me. Like, I should have put this guy on that guy. I should have had this guy inbounds. And I'm not saying that they didn't draw that up that way. Personally, looking at it in arrears, which obviously, vision is 20/20 in hindsight. But for me, if I'm JB, I'm looking at this saying, okay, I should have probably had Tobias throw that ball in. I can run a two-man game between Beasley and Cade, and whoever gets open is taking that shot. Because I'd rather have the option of those two than just one.
So you know what? You know when you'll find that out? Next time they're in that situation.
No, I like that loss for them. I like that loss for them.
And that my whole question is, did they win together? Did they lose together? Right? And to me, right now, they're on the same page. Like sometimes you try and you can't execute. Your game plan is there, but your execution's off.
Yeah. No, they lost to a savvy veteran team.
Good team.
Yeah, and this is
and that Spenny said, right? Right. Which here's the thing that I look at. You were your guy that's out. You were Jalen Duren, or not, right?
Jaden Ivey.
Or Jaden Ivey.
And Tim
away
Hardaway
from
Jr.
where, if he was there, right?
If Tim Hardaway Jr. plays, you probably win that game.
Okay, so you're
just need a little
close.
bit
You
more
take the
firepower.
positives out of it, and then you go through and say, was that the best, decisions there? But there was other decisions throughout. But how about, just to finish it off, the way that, because watching, I didn't see it live, but I watched clips of, I don't know what Draymond was doing, stepping up on my boy Ron Holland Jr.
Yeah,
He's lucky I wasn't
just competitive.
there.
You know how
But
Draymond
he
is.
didn't
Beef
back
Stew
up
was
or
there,
anything.
though.
Yeah, it wasn't ridiculous by Draymond. He was just being competitive.
It's
but
just Draymond being Draymond.
The fact that the Pistons were even in this game to begin with, the Warriors blew an 18-point lead.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were even in this game just is a testament to how things are different with this Pistons team. Don't give up on them yet.
And Dante151 with a super chat in there. He says, also, if Beasley wanted for a second, Draymond Green could have fouled him when Beasley shot that three-pointer at the end, but it didn't happen, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Also, the Pistons will bounce back. Yeah, they weren't going to go undefeated the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're going to beat the Raptors in Saturday. I'm going to be there, politicking. Shout out Kool-Aid. I'm excited. Me and Pops are going to be in the building. I expect the Pistons to dominate
Shout
the
Danny
Raptors.
Rasker.
Pistons had some ugly losses in the early going. Their few losses that we've seen over the last 15 games, I think, have made them better. Like the 2 losses we watched from the Lions this year, we talked right afterwards. We thought those were good losses, that they would get better afterwards, and that's exactly what we saw. I think we'll see the same thing on Saturday against the Raptors, and then a big game on Monday against the third place in the East, New York Knicks.
Yeah, that'll be huge. Let's go to break. We'll come back. We'll talk some hockey.
Yeah, let's talk Red Wings. Got a nickel package on the Wings. They deserve it. Win streak. Big game.
They do
Got to
deserve
take
it.
care of Chicago tonight.
For sure. Got to take care of Chicago tonight. And I don't think I've been less stressed about a Red Wings game in the past 5 years than I am tonight about them playing the Blackhawks. But first, let me tell you about the watch party and the post-game show, always at Hayes Social. Me and Easy on the live watch party, and then Anson and Stick, as always, for the post-game show, presented by New Holland Brewing Company, Sabbath Coffee Roaster, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and 1800 Tequila. Make sure you tap in live at Hayes Social. Come out and join us. It's going to be a blast. It always is. The post-game show and the live watch party.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza and their signature wings. They got 7 different flavors for you to choose from. My personal favorite is the spicy garlic, but they got the buffalo, the barbecue, the lemon pepper, the Parmesan garlic, whatever you need. Soroki's has it covered. Try them all and choose your favorite for yourself. Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. To find one near you, go to Sorokis.com.
And don't forget those honey biscuits.
Biscuits are
The
so
best.
Sick the Energy, musical entertainment by Anson Wells this morning.
I got jams. I got bars.
Neil will be back Monday. Don't you all worry.
Right. Not confirmed.
Chet's like, thank God.
Spready's here keeping us on track. Too cold to take the pontoon out, so we didn't fire up the engines. Might want to get ready to fire up the snowmobiles. But speaking of ice and cold and everything else, they actually deserve to be talked about. I wore the Red Wings sweater in. The effort has been there. They battled their way to get back to 500. Big game tonight against Chicago Blackhawks. Continue the ways, trying to make it 6 in a row. Spadmo Rex, you put together a Red Wings 5-on-3.
Red Wings 5-on-3 here. First question of the Red Wings 5-on-3. Patrick Kane has 8 points in his last 4 games. Do you expect Patrick Kane to keep this pace up?
You can't.
Yeah.
But you can expect the opportunities, and I think the pace of more consistency is just the execution of the power play and just the, you see that extra energy and stuff like this. I don't expect 2 points a game, but he should be on a point a game pace, and that's where he lives. That's the type of player. So, but he's a guy, stay hot, Patty. Stay hot.
Yeah, for me, anytime that you bring in a new coach, they can completely start focusing on a player or devise a system and put it into place that completely benefits one guy. So I'm not the big hockey guy, and I don't know exactly what his numbers are, but I wouldn't be surprised if he continues.
Yeah, it is a torrid pace. He's going to slow down a little bit, but like D-Max, point a game, why not? I mean, credit to what Anson said. He is in that Todd Father system. They're getting pucks at the net. They're fast, attacking in offense. You got defenders bumping down in the offensive attack a lot, and that's just more people for Patrick Kane to set up, more people for him to get the puck on their stick too. And we know the guy is one of the best playmakers in the league still. So I could definitely see it. The Red Wings are going to score a lot of goals for the rest of the year in Todd McClellan's system, and Patrick Kane's going to be in the center of it. So I could definitely see a point a game.
Isn't it funny? It's like Todd walked in and he went, dude, turn the lights on. Like the goals, right? Like it was like last year, put them up, and then it was like he just walked in and he goes, turn the switch on.
Turn that switch on. It's awesome to see, man. It truly is. Shout out to Todd McClellan. He saved my hockey life this year.
Yours.
Yeah, right. Everybody's. All right, next question of the Red Wings 5-on-3. Is this Chicago game a must-win?
Hey, whether it's the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, or the White Sox, I hate Chicago. It's always a must-win.
Oh, you like to... I think for where they're at and to continue this, they don't have any room to breathe. They got to take care of these games. So, and yes, it's throw extra dirt on Chicago when you can. Why not?
Yeah, I think it is a must-win. You got to get the 2 points. You got closer to Ottawa, but you let them get a point. There's a lot of congestion right there. You need to get those 2 points.
I will change my answer to yes. It's a must win because your schedule, what you have upcoming on your East Coast, then your West Coast trip.
Yeah,
the East Coast team coming in their West Coast trip. So yes, this is you got to bank these. You got to get these 2 points, and then that's what we'll see the difference too. Is when you're supposed to win these games, go out and do that, not lay an egg.
And I want to see Mo Sider put Bedard on his ass.
Bedard.
I love Bedard. The kid is a stud. I mean, but the last time we played him, he was getting in Patrick Kane, giving him a little chirps, hitting him, getting a little dirty with him. I mean, that's what you got to do. You know, you're the new Chicago guy. He's Chicago's golden boy, so you got to do it. But I want to see Mo Sider go put him on his ass out there. Nothing dirty. Just give him a solid hit.
Let's go. Let's play some ball.
Exactly. All right, next question. Is this a playoff team under Todd McClellan?
Woo. Well, based on what I've been hearing from Red Wings fans for the last 2 years, we have the talent here. But as you mentioned, D-Mac, the lights weren't on. And now we got a guy that has flipped them on. I have been maintaining that the 20s are the decade of Detroit sports. They're a playoff team.
Yeah, I think that, consistent because what we've seen for 6 games, that Sean and I were talking about this yesterday. The true test is after the West Coast trip because that's you've faced a lot of the East coming in the end of the month. Then you have to head out west. That's always, and as a player, that trip is always the one that's sort of marked where you're at. There's different spots in the season that you sort of like landmark where you're at. But I everything that I see, eyeball test to me is real. So the fact is they got to get the consistency because here's the whole thing. And it's not it's getting the most out of their top guys, but it's everybody else elevating their game to their highest level. From the guys that we bitch about the most, the Halls and the Gustafsons. And it's all about like getting to your water level. It's not underachieving, which that's what we saw, and that's what was going on. Now people are achieving their level. Other guys are getting their opportunities, like a Joe Veleno on a top line. Thinking back, it's a lot like. If I'm going to draw a reference, Spenny, it's like when Drapes got to go play with Sergei in the 2000s and won his Selke that year or whatever, but he scored 20-some goals or whatever. He got to show a little bit of his offensive ability because he brought something else. So, yes, by the hands of Todd McClellan, if anything, that they will be a wild card playoff team.
I surely hope so, but the Eastern Conference in the NHL is so tough, especially the Atlantic, man. And you got a lot of good teams in there. I'd like to say they can. I'd like to say they have the talent, they have the drive. If they were in the West, they're for sure a playoff team. But this East, man, the East is a beast. It's going to be tough to squeak in there with all these teams.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Do you miss us being
but
in the
at least
Western?
we got a fighting chance now, right?
We got a fighting chance. That's all you
do
can
I
ask
what?
for.
Do you miss us being in the Western Conference?
I do. We'd be in the playoffs last year and this year if we were in the West.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter. I don't travel but I loved it. I mean that's where I lived my whole career.
Sure.
So, I mean understanding. Yeah, I like watching games later. I don't have to get up. I don't do the show till 11.
Right.
Ask Kenny. Kenny don't like it.
Yeah, I don't. I hate it. Can't stand the shit.
Next question of the Red Wings 5-on-3. Has Lucas Raymond taken the step to superstardom?
He's almost there. But I think that what he's shown is his consistency and what he means and stuff like this. It's just about reps. It's just about just putting it down. But everything what you see is what you get. Whether we're he's got a 30, maybe even 40 still on track. But he's one of the guys that hasn't changed through all of this. Through the change of the coach or whatever, he's one of the guys. Him and Larkin were fueling any offense or any sparks to the lighting, right? So now I think he gets unlocked even more, Spenny, and I just think he's got another level to go.
Yeah,
you stole what I was going to say.
And no, I mean that's what it is. He's seen it now. He's going to be an all-star this year. He is consistently the star for the Red Wings. The man, he leads the team in points. Like I expect him to keep going and keep doing that. And D-Mac's right. There is one more step he can take, and that one more step goes from an all-star to a top 10 player in the NHL. Like, if he's hanging up 50 goals a year, then he is a top 10 player in the NHL, and he's got it in him.
Superstardom is 50.
Yeah.
Right now he's 40, not there yet. When you see he's still, but he'll get there. I believe he will get there.
I agree 100%. And the final question of the Red Wings 5-on-3. Obviously, we talked about it a little bit yesterday with Lyon and the injury to his upper body. He's been in and out. He has been probably the most consistent goaltender, even though he's been inconsistent health-wise, but his play over the past couple of years for the Red Wings. Can Cam Talbot keep this team afloat if we're trying to make the playoffs?
Yeah, if he's healthy, he has to be. But I mean, that seems like where the Achilles heel. You're telling the question should be, can Ville Husso, which he hasn't. I don't think so, because he hasn't shown it. But Cam Talbot, I think he. So the answer, if the effort's going to be there, you think that the output and the shots and the goals are going to be there. So it's up to Cam Talbot to backstop those wins, and right. So I believe he can do it. That's why Stevie brought him in, to get him to that next point. So if they're going to make it, like you said, in this tough division, it's going to be because of him.
Yeah.
We haven't had a goaltender in quite some time that has really kind of been that thing that took this team over, which we had with Hasek and some other guys. Obviously, your boy Ozzy was fantastic for us as well. Is that something that you think is the final piece that can really put this team forward?
Yeah, it's always going to be like I've always said, when your goalie's in play, when it's either Kosa or Augustine. Yeah. And I think that when it's going to be both. Kosa's probably going to be up first, get that, and Augustine right behind. But those two battling and. Right, exactly. Pushing each other. I think that you have such that tandem, is that when they're in place, that's when you're ready to elevate to that next level, and that's championships. So
my camera's a little blurry. There you go. I fixed it.
No
yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, Cam Talbot, we know what he is. He's been a great goaltender in the league for a long time. He's little. That's also saying he's a little long in the tooth, a little bit of a gray bush. So Ville Husso's gonna need to step up for sure. But we know the duo you got coming up. Like, Kosa will be here next year. He will be your number one goaltender next year. I expect him to do big things. And then Trey Augustine, the Spartan dog, he's the best goaltender. He's been the best goaltender in college for 2 years now. He obviously just dominated in World Juniors.
World Junior
and as soon as he gets the call up, I'm buying a Trey Augustine Red Wings jersey. I can't wait for it. Kid is a stud, man. He's magic.
Go green.
Go white.
Yep.
Go blue.
Let's go to break. Let me tell you guys about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone, where anyone, and we mean anyone, can work on their fitness goals. Judgment-free atmosphere, friendly, knowledgeable staff. You can get a full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $15 a month, or you can upgrade to the Black Card, get you some amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and all of that good stuff, as well as access to over 2,500 locations worldwide. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Amani and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trusted.
DMAC.
4 Stanley Cups. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game of performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
We got a super chat in there real quick. Sorry, D-Mac, before we get into it. From Robert Sloppy Toppenheimer. He says, it's the best name
from
in the
who?
chat.
Every
Robert
time.
Sloppy Toppenheimer.
That
Robert
name give me every time.
Oppenheimer.
He
That
says,
sounds like a...
thoughts on Pistons trade deadline? I want a backup point guard. I agree.
Yes.
I agree 100%. I think they need to get in. I don't expect it to be a Zach LaVine or anything like that. I said yesterday, I want you to be the third guy on a trade.
Yep.
Like how the Cavs were when they got Jared Allen for free. You know, Jimmy Butler's probably going to go somewhere. Bradley Beal's probably going to go somewhere. Devin Booker might be going somewhere. Be the third team in there.
Mm-hmm.
Get a piece that they got to dump salary with. Hopefully it could be a point guard or just a secondary ball handler and scorer that we need. Like, you need somebody to replace what Jaden Ivey was bringing to this team.
It's rumored C.J. McCollum might be the target.
I would love that.
No, that would be awesome.
Spenny, did you see the tweet that Easy posted or Kool-Aid posted in the gang?
No.
Did you see the tweet? I think this is a beautiful way to go off. Did you see in the group chat there?
Let me grab it.
It's
yeah.
Did you see that?
This guy bitching about the Lions still.
Yeah.
But did you read his tweet?
Yeah, he said, I've reached the point where I'd rather see the Packers win another Super Bowl than see Detroit ever have any sort of success ever again.
Shut the
Lions
fuck up.
fans have cracked me.
Yeah!
Such a
Is
fun
he
game
from
to
Minnesota?
watch 2 years ago. He's from Minnesota.
Of course.
Sad to see that
the
fan
fuck up.
base has forced itself into the narrative of Detroit versus everyone. You must be new here, bud.
For
Detroit
real,
versus
bro.
everyone's been around for a while,
I
pussy.
love it.
And second of all, I don't want either of you guys, I don't want any of you to have success.
Yes.
Bears, Packers, Vikings. I hope all of
The Vikings haven't had
all
success.
of your franchises burn down to the studs.
Yeah, I bet
Fuck
you like
guys.
participation trophies too, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, Tanner.
That's when you know you've arrived.
Yes.
When fans within your
Crack
division
me.
are
just cheering down
rooting for other teams in this division.
Listen.
Teams they've hated for decades. He
And
certainly
that
has
proves-
cracked.
That proves that
Game of
he
Thrones,
knows-
bro.
He knows his team's not good enough.
Yep.
Game
Because
of
a true
Thrones.
fan would say, I hope the Vikings have success.
Lancasters.
But you're talking about the Packers and the Lions because your team's sitting in the cuck chair because you guys are frauds.
Whoa,
Mentally
cuck on you.
destroyed.
And I saw
got
a
a feeling
Vikings fan
bad deep in
post,
myself.
can we please get this as a red zone package? And it was Daniel Jones highlights.
Well, what the fuck?
Aaron Glenn has Vikings fans calling for Daniel Jones packages.
Wait, what?
He posted like a video of Daniel Jones rushing in and the red zone, like a 3-yard touchdown rush on the Giants, and he's like, "Can we please get this as a package on Monday night?" Aaron Glenn broke the Vikings fan base. He has them calling for Daniel Jones packages. And shout out to Kyle Dadswell in the Woodward Sports Chat. D-Mac, rate your Red Wings goalies: Osgood, Vernon, Joseph, and Hasek.
Like as far as my favorite?
Your personal favorite.
Ozzy,
Knew that.
Bernie, Joseph, Hasek. Or now you're talking like on the ice?
On
or-
the ice, too.
Oh, on the ice?
Yeah.
Skill, not
Ozzy,
coolness.
Hasek, Vernon, Joseph. I take Ozzy over anybody.
Now, where does Timmy
because that's
Chevrolet
the
rank?
Whole thing. Chalamet.
Chevrolet, baby.
Pretty decent Bob Dylan. Better Dune character. And everything else. Anybody around here, be safe driving.
Yes.
Show's coming in. I will be in Toledo. Joe Kosher and I today.
Kosher,
Go
nice.
Wings. Go Pistons tomorrow. Danny, have a good time, and I will see you all at the barbecue on Sunday. For Edson, for KG, for Spenny, I'm D-Mac. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Big D Energy. Deuces. We out.